So are there times when you've been sad?
Oh, yeah.
Are there times you've been pissy?
Yes.
If I ask your man, you would say yes.
Oh, absolutely.
At times.
Yeah,
right?
no, of course.
So the point of the matter is when you're not being that produces a level of pressure inside you because the source of love you needed to be that for, and it's in your unconscious. It's not a conscious thing. So there's a level of life and death, emotional survival that shows up that says, I've got to overcome this. Well, there's nothing wrong with having drive, but what it does is it makes you be inhuman to yourself.
Yes.
And when you're inhuman to yourself, your man's going to feel it because even though you don't mean to be, and you're one of the sweetest souls I know, if I rub your arm like this, no problem. But if you got a scab there and I touch you with a hair, a cat hair, you're jumping out of your skin.
Yes.
And so there's scabs there from those things. It's a horrible metaphor, but there are pieces that irritate that are there. And when someone is spiritually developed, it isn't that they can quote scripture, it's a nice thing to be able to do, or that they go to church every single day. I think those are beautiful things. But the real thing is they're comfortable within themselves. And when you're comfortable in yourself, then you can give to other people and there aren't the hooks. You're not doing it because you have to. You're not doing it because it's your identity. There may be a part of that. You're doing it because it's what's real right now. And I just think that the more we can figure that out, the more you begin to understand why you do what you do. Also, I ask people, who do you really, really like a lot? And then what are the qualities in them? And whatever you like in another person are qualities that are in you, but you've disassociated from them. You've disidentified with them because they didn't match the way you were supposed to be, right? In the source of love. And when you reclaim them, you're more alive. That's really what it is. Or I'll say to people, who do you dislike? I know you love everyone because you're a green, beautiful, socially conscious person, but we usually have something that you would get annoyed by, pissed off by.
Yeah.
And whatever qualities piss you off are qualities in you that you've also disidentified with. You don't have to become a jerk, but you have to find, if it was a taker, you got to find the energy of receiving. If it's about domination and they're dominating, you hate that. It's really about you stepping up and taking that part of your life and dominating it a bit in an intelligent way. Whatever energy is either annoying you, is calling you to find that part in yourself, or anything you love in another person is actually you. In fact, how many of you at home have gotten in a relationship sometime in the past and you were enamored for this person? They were so passionate. They were a man or woman, they took the room and you loved how they were so potent or powerful, loving or playful or something. And you're more quiet, you're more internal. Or you're way out there and you loved how calm they are compared to you, right? The opposite energy attracts us. But then here's what happens. In one of my relationships, without saying who, I had a long-term relationship with a woman who was a great lady, and she met me, and I'm a force of nature, and she loved as a force of nature, and I make shit happen, and I'm not much at just, hanging out. And she loved that in the beginning because it's a part of her that she did not see was in her. She thought that was the opposite of her. She wanted those pieces. But if you don't reclaim that part of yourself, the very thing you used to love in that person, you will hate, and you will hate it because you have not grown, and now you blame them unconsciously. So all of a sudden, I talk loud and intensely and passionately. That didn't change, but all of a sudden it went from, isn't that cool, to, does he always have to take charge of the thing? Does he always have to talk so loud? Does he always have to do this? The very thing she loved in me, she now hated in me, right? And I'm like, I don't think I changed, right? I don't think there's anything there. It's because she didn't grow in that area. She didn't tap into that part. She didn't have to become me, but she needed to find where she was not the passenger, where she was the person who was taking charge at times, not every moment, but at times. She didn't get the growth. That's what makes you start to feel that love for someone, because there's something in them that is recognized in your spirit that's there and not fully developed or not reclaimed. And when it's reclaimed, then that relationship becomes even more powerful. It doesn't mean competitive, like one's trying to be like the other. It's just we're all more whole. And for me, simplistic things. I sleep, I eat, I laugh at little stuff. I don't have to, make everything be the most funny thing in the world. All those things came from my wife, because since I love her and I love those qualities in her, I learned to appreciate them in myself. And it just made me more whole.
The other thing is, you look at your goals and look at your dreams. Repeat out to me, please. I will fail my way to success. Yes, part of the reason why we have to continue to work on ourselves and surround ourselves with quality people is because you're going to have a lot of failures. You're going to have a lot of disappointments. Maya Angelou said, and it's true, I found it in my case, that most people go so far in life and then they park. They stop dead in their tracks. Why? Because they take some hits. When you have a goal and dream, think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will have tribulations. Things are going to happen to you. I was in pursuit of my dream, and all of a sudden, boom, I got hit. A person that I thought I would be with for the rest of my life, I thought was my soulmate. I went through a divorce. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated. How can I teach people how to live their dreams? And I wasn't able to make my marriage work. I questioned myself. I took another hit. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. Then I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Then my best friend from the second grade, Alexander Wims, he was diagnosed with cancer of the liver. I took a hit, and life staggered me, and I parked. And I didn't turn on my emergency lights because I didn't want to call attention to myself. I didn't want anybody to come and say, hey, do you need a jump? No, I don't need a jump. I'm not out of gas. My battery is not dead. My heart is beating. I'm parked. Leave me be. I'm parked. I was in my comfort zone. I was doing just enough to get by. I was working on a job. They paid me just enough to keep me from quitting, and I worked just hard enough to keep from getting fired. How many know people like that? Blink your eyes if you understand what I'm talking about. I was parked. I knew I could do more. But when my mama died, it took something out of me. When I went through a divorce, it took something out of me. When my best friend died, it took something out of me. I parked. And somebody said that life is like an onion. You have to peel it one layer at a time. And sometimes you cry. Life's going to happen to you when you have a dream. You're going to get slapped around. And don't take it personal. Don't ask, why did this have to happen to me? Why not you? Who would you suggest? You want to give us some names, some email addresses? And don't tell everybody. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you. It's called life. Suck it up and move on. Get over it. It happens to everybody. Here's the other thing: as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, when you're going through some stuff, repeat out to me, please. When things go wrong, don't go with them.
Now here's my third subject, and that's called financial independence. Oh, by the way, before I get to financial independence, let me cover one more point. One of the major reasons for setting goals is for what they make of you in achieving them. My teacher advised me when I first got started at age 25, he said, Jim, why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? He said, it's got a nice ring to it. You know, enough zeros to impress your accountant. And he said, I'm here to help you. You're only 25 years old. You've been to 1 year of college. You've got a beautiful family, every reason to do it. Why don't you set a goal to become a millionaire? And he said, here's why. And I thought, he doesn't need to teach me why. Wouldn't it be nice to have $1 million? He said, no, then you'll miss it. He said, here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. I'm telling you, that statement changed my life. Set the kind of goals that will make something of you to achieve them. He said, now, once you become a millionaire, what's important is not the money. I thought, that's kind of strange teaching. He said, honest, it isn't important. He said, you could just give the money away. Now, I did better than that. I lost it all. By the time I was 31, I was a millionaire. By the time I was 33, I was broke. And I'll tell you a little bit about that story later. But when I lost all my money, guess what? I found out Mr. Schoaf was right. What was valuable was not the money. What was valuable was what I became to earn the money. The skills I had, the knowledge I had about the marketplace, the values that I had going for me. They were more valuable than the money. And here's an important statement to remember. It's not what you get that makes you valuable. It's what you become. So part of the key here is to set the kind of goals that will make something of you. Don't set them too low so that you don't have to grow and you don't have to read and you don't have to try and you don't have to stretch. Don't set them too low. And then don't sell out. Don't go for something that's going to cost you your virtue or cost you your values or sell out your principles. There's a good middle road here to follow. Goals that will inspire, goals that will help you grow, change, develop, and become better than you are.